human beings around the world are interested in cognitive health, not just psychic protection. So don't let me lose you on the terminology. For those of you that are scientifically minded, I think that the things that I'm discussing are relevant to your life, regardless of the specific languages that we're choosing to use, words rather, and also religious, spiritual views. So for those of you that are even atheist, it's important to understand the cognitive impact, the impact on humanity. At the very least, on the part of AI, which is not a theory, it's already here. Its impact on human consciousness, human relationships, and a lot more. So in this first part, and this is going to be, and it's been a regular conversation, psychic protection, what we're dealing with, archonic, mind hijack, even Facebook. How I think Facebook and other technologies are used as surveillance. And it is like something out of science fiction. But I believe that's something that we're looking at. I also think that we're seeing a critical mass of human beings that at least can see the AI component. So I'm going to be kind of discussing this a little bit, what we're potentially dealing with. And then in the part two, that's going to be on demand, where I'm going to be sharing some personal experiences and also some things that I've learned that I'm going to keep on the on-demand side while talking about some general elements of this. Now that my knowledge base is growing from personal experience, there are things that I think should be left for supporters only. So we're definitely dealing with the rise of AI and a lot of predictive programming. I actually just saw Terminator Genesis for the first time. There was a lot of predictive programming for some reason regarding October 2017, Skynet being activated, changing timelines, for example. I do liken the whole Terminator thing, the whole AI within Terminator, I liken that to the Archons. I don't think that AI, even though it may be programmed by human beings, those that are using AI and programming it for destructive purposes are doing so on behalf of those spiritual parasites, whatever you choose to call them. Now, let's not get into politics, whether it's demons, archons, aliens, or other disincarnate spirits, but there's something going on. The human elite of the world have been building up this pyramid system, not by accident, as I've been saying for years, not for a few and now dead, rich white men, right, like David Rockefeller, no longer on the planet, things of that nature. They have been working on behalf of something else. Now that we've been also separated, families that is, a lot of people dependent on technology, which I don't see as inherently negative, what technology has brought our world and our ability to be independent from others controlling our lives. That's a good thing. That's something to be celebrated. There's also the downside when people become out of balance and they have no real social circles, allies, things of that nature. So when technology fails on them or elements of the internet economy, right? And I've learned a lot of things in recent weeks, recent months, and recent years. Someone could fall really out of balance, become too dependent on technology, and find themselves in a bad situation. One of the things that I've been trying to do is literally be balanced in both worlds. Be connected with nature, but to use the internet in a more mindful way than I've ever used it before. The internet is supposed to be a tool, you see. The internet is not a place to waste time on places like Facebook and to be traumatized by negative news, even if some of it is real, right? But bombarded with things that encourage us to be afraid. And the news is also, and some of the agencies putting it out, so custom tailored to particular demographics. I mean, it becomes a market where they're talking to their market. Fear sells, sex sells, other things sell. And also one of the reasons, I'm not getting deep into geopolitics at the moment, but an update is due. That's another topic. But there seems to be an element. So I've talked about fake news, disinformation, artificial intelligence is very much involved. At the very least, people that put out fake news are using robot voices, right, to promote the next fake doomsday scenario, while the AI in YouTube and Facebook conveniently, because the programmers programmed AI to promote certain types of content while claiming, right? Claiming they're against extremism. AI seems to be programmed, this is going to be a conversation development, to play its part in the culling of particular genetics. It's actually quite terrifying when you think about it. Whatever we are in this reality seems to be a soul prison where there's a lot of trauma that souls are enduring, whether there's some that are marked as undesirable or even those that are marked as desirable. There are things that happen to women with their eggs being taken, in the ongoing programs that have been taking place here. It's very traumatizing what we have been through as souls. So, the conversation of psychic protection, whether we're dealing with or cognitive strength or mind powers, or just power of the mind, for some people that are a little uncomfortable with the term psychic, but I would try to get over the sensitivity to it. Yes, the people that present themselves to be such at times on the internet and in the media. If you check out some of my videos, you'll notice I've been a critic of what I call the fake spiritualists or the New Age disinformation. But that's not to attack everybody that's labeled New Age. That's not to attack, and some people do. When they use the term New Age, some people use it to me from a religious perspective to criticize the fact that I'm looking at the solar impact on human consciousness. That's not fair at all, or kind, or spiritual. And it's not New Age, right? To be taking a look at how that affects our world. That's not a New Age thing. But we are living in the age of technology, where some of these ideas are new to some people. But it's not New Age if the information is new. So, whether you're looking at it from a scientific perspective or something else, the important thing is to protect our mind. Mind, psyche, consciousness, psychic awareness, what have you, right? Some people believe in chakras, some people do not. I don't necessarily think that that's the most important debate to be having here with protecting our mind, right? Somebody could be playing violent video games and eating junk food all day, and they could find themselves affected. And I would even say infected, and that there are spiritual consequences for people becoming internet addicts, especially when they fall into aspects of the dark web. And I don't mean literally the dark web. I mean the dark side of the internet, as they say, the dark side of YouTube. And they're filling their minds up with war and violence and rape and murder and mayhem and encouraging more wars and race baiting and getting together in groups and bullying and tagging up on other groups or individuals that are being targeted in the media. There's a lot of very deranged individuals out there, and some people think, oh, that's just troll-like behavior. There's actually something more psychotic about how some of these men are choosing to use their time. It's actually more of a manifestation of evil that we're able to witness. And even as we'll talk about on the on-demand side of things, the evidence of potential possession that we may see in our own lives, or particular examples of psychic attacks. So with that, we're actually going to conclude this part one. I'll see you over at the On Demand channel, and I'll be back with more.